Okay. There's a huge thing that you've said about, and I just want to speak about a bit about that, about going to Rwanda. Because you said you went to Rwanda after the genocide.
Yeah.
And that's maybe then the late 90s. Can you remember the first time going back to Rwanda?
Yeah, definitely. Because it was like, it wasn't that long after the genocide. Maybe it was 2 years after.
Okay.
And I was a child. But I remember the fear of where to step, because they were still looking for landmines.
Oh.
They're like, don't walk over there, don't walk over there, be very careful, watch your step. Or going to visit relatives and seeing like bullet holes in the walls. But and feeling a sense of fear, but as a child not really understanding the magnitude of what has happened. And I know my parents were a big part of like the fundraising to fund the RPF, the guys who are fighting for peace in Rwanda, right? So us going was them kind of going to check on all the people they were supporting, to see who went back home, like who survived. It was visiting to kind of see where Rwanda is at now and where our people are at, who has moved back. It was still very fresh. Yeah, so I remember that was my first time going to Rwanda as a child, going to the church with the skulls and just being like, what on earth happened here? But not really having much of an understanding, because I was really young.
And meeting family, also being told, these are your cousins, these are your uncles.
And so that was the strange thing. I don't even remember there being that much of family there, because so many people had left Rwanda. Very few people had returned. So it's maybe my mom's sister and her husband. That's who I definitely remember visiting, because I was like, wow, they have such a huge house. They must be so rich. Yeah, not understanding that this nation has been torn apart. And so actually maybe real estate is not that expensive to find right now.
Yeah. Or this may not be the best environment to be in this time.
Yes.
Okay, I get it. So you're young. And we'll come back later on the story, because I know you've gone to sing in Rwanda, you've got to do gigs there. So we'll come back later on and talk about that. So let's then transition out of State House Girls, unless you feel like there's something pivotal that you want to talk about also that happened while you were at State House Girls.
Is there? I guess just now from hindsight, understanding why I went there, because initially it was a heartbreak, it was a failure, it was a thing that happened because I didn't get the thing I wanted, because of injustice, because I didn't get the grades I wanted. But now in hindsight, I understand that it helped me connect with different people from all over the city. It helped me understand classism, which is something that plays so majorly in the music industry in Kenya. Like whether you're able to appeal to the masses or not, whether you're niche or not, whether you're Barbie or not. And there's so many layers to classism and how it divides our city, how it divides our culture, but we don't really talk about it. So State House Girls really helped me understand that, and it also fed the art in me. So something might happen that's so left from what you expected, and it might seem like a downgrade, but there's always a blessing. There's always something for you to take from it. There's always something that you are supposed to gain from the situation. So State House Girls fed the artist.
I love it. Hey, D, you've made me understand. You've made me understand K-Crew in my life.
Yeah?
Yeah, it showed me a different side of Kenya. And that's like your State House Girls is, for me, that's K-Crew. Which is so, like, you see, power in the story.
Yeah.
So let me go on and say, at this time, are you, when you're still a Baptist, Nairobi Baptist, that's your church.
Yeah.
Remember, you're a CU chick. You're a Jesus freak. Let's call her that.
Jesus freak.
So was that your song?
There was a big song by DC Talk called Jesus Freak.
Oh yeah. So that's why you named yourself that. Yeah. So Nairobi Baptist, is it playing a significant role in your life at this time?
Definitely, because when I'm on holiday, that's where I'm going. They had a really cool program. I think they still have it, called Light. So, and then they'd have like camps, Easter camp.
Yep.
So yeah, that's really where I was during holidays, I was at Bapo.
So when you're not at school, you're at Ngumo in the hood, or you're at Baptist.
Yes.
And that one, your parents, of course, allowed you to go.
Hey, they are so happy. I think now in hindsight, I'm like, parents must be so happy when their kids are like, I've gone to church. Thank you, Jesus. Not somewhere smoking weed or making out with a boy. You're in church. Stay in church. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That's so funny, but it's so true as well.
Yeah. They're
So-
like, go.
Okay, so what happens? Do you do well, or is there standardization part 2, the sequel?
So, and this is where I'm like, when I want something, the force, the effort, the work I put into something that I want. Because here I am in this situation, the education is not that good, but I'm going to do everything I can. I'll wake up earlier, I'll be the first person in class. I remember there's a friend of mine, and we're still friends to this day, who was just like, where you used to read? And now I'm like, I wish I was more like you. I wish I just slept. Why did I stress myself so much trying to pass? Because like me, I'll just apply what I learned in Makini, which is just cram. Just go over the material 150 times until it sticks. Even if you don't understand it, if you can cram the basic formula, if you can just cram enough, you'll be fine. Even if you don't understand, just try to cram. Do the best you can with what you have. That's what May was doing. I was just like, we still have to pass. We still have to make something out of ourselves, because I was still of the understanding that you have to pass in school to be successful in life. And also I must carry forth the legacy. My sisters have gotten A's, and you know, like they went to national schools. I can't now be like,
and ambassadors don't just
exactly
bruise cruise through life.
Thank you. So I have to pass somehow, some way. So I do okay. Like now looking back, given the circumstances, I did okay. The subjects that I could do my best, I did my best. The ones that let me down were you know why it's just like A minus B plus D. Yeah. That was my math and my Kiswahili, where it's like we tried our best to lift up the things we could do. English A, you know, where you're like, where I'm good, I'm really good. Isi zingine, let's just try to raise the mean.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which was just like, ugh. So I got enough to get into university without having to do like an IB or a, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so what happens now when you finish? Are you called? Are you called to university? What's next?
Hey, hata sikupatiwa time ya kufikiria. Like I think immediately after I finished, I go to Alliance for like a term. When that term is done, I'm told you're going to Daystar University, you're going to study this. So
this is what year now?
If I finished in 2005, 2006.
January, you're Alliance?
Yeah, January I'm at Alliance. When that term ends, Daystar. We're not wasting time out here thinking about what do you want to do. Because I really... I wasn't, as much as before I wanted to be an ambassador, I was thinking about maybe doing international relations. My dad came one day and he's like, this is what you're going to study, this is what you're going to do. Part of me wonders if I'm crazy about it, because I remember him saying he had a dream that I studied electronic media, I did journalism, and I didn't even spend a day outside, like, without getting a job. And so I was like, wow, if my dad has had a dream, let me do this. Now I'm like, did I make that up in my head? Because I don't feel like I played a role in choosing what course I was gonna do. It was just like, you're gonna do this. And I wasn't old enough or stubborn enough to be like, no, I want to take time and figure it out, or I'm not sure about this.
But were you okay with it?
I was just like, okay, well, fine. I was just like, cool. If I could go back in time, I would change that.
And do what?
Probably psychology. Yeah, psychology. I would have really, but I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
I was still in the frame of mind of, I'm a child and this is my parent, and so if they say do this, do it.
And probably even that part sometimes makes you make that decision now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Daystar it is, not Athi River, just there next to Ngumo.
No, Athi River.
Athi River.
Athi River, and I was at Daybag.
What?
Yeah.
So it's Ngumo, Daystar, catch the bus, Athi River, class, back.
Bus, like that. Oh my goodness, and I hated it.
What year is this again, sorry?
This is 2006.
2006,
Yeah.
okay. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Again, I didn't. It was one of those situations where, now that I'm older, I see how privileged I was to have higher education, to have had parents who could pay for higher education, to have the opportunity to study anything. I wasn't thinking like that. There are people who that's their dream. They want to go to Daystar, they want to study journalism. But for me, I was just like, what is this life? You work hard, you don't get the things you want. I'm just, at that point, I'm over it. I'm like, maybe music is more fun because now I've started hanging out with you guys and doing hip hop, and the music thing is now like, oh, this is kind of cool.
Okay.
Where can I do music? What do I like? Who am I? Yeah.
Okay, since you said you started hanging out with us, how did that happen? How did you join hip hop?
Yeah.
Because you were not there. Then one day I'm just seeing you there. I'm like,
Hiya, hello. So when
I'm like, who is pretty girl? She can join.
Hey, she can join. Yeah, so when I clear high school,
Bring some swag to those three boys.
I
Me, Giuliani and
cool
Riga
guys.
Orekat. You brought some swag, thank you. So okay, explain how did you join
Yeah.
this music side?